The Tragedy of Cinema podcast is intended as a family-friendly program that by extension strives to be inclusive to all people regardless of their ethnicity, gender, creed, or any other identifying factors in this incredibly diverse world of ours. With that said, some of the films we discuss may contain serious subject matters or have content considered morally objectionable by today's standards. We do not intend to condone or dismiss these aspects of these films, but our primary focus will be on what we believe the film succeeds at, some fun facts, and our personal enjoyment factors of each film. With that said, we hope you enjoy the show.
Jimbo and Kyle take flight. 80s dreams are its delight. In the realm of black and white, movies and TV flow through the stories we all know. Silver screen tales unfold in the magic they bestow. The tragedy of cinema, when memories shimmer. Join us as we toast to the tales we love the most. To the tales we love the most.
Won the Pulitzer Prize, the Critics' Award, the most revealing play ever written.
New York, London, Paris, Brussels, Rome, all cheered it.
It's an even greater motion picture.
This is the story of a woman, Blanche Dubois, who wanted so much to stay a lady. A vivid, vibrant, exciting story, because every searching chapter was written by men. Men who taught her to trust and to hope, to love and to hate. The youth who brought remembrance of yesterday. The man who was willing to take her out of the dark alleys of New Orleans. The brute who lied and cheated, who promised everything, gave nothing.
Don't you ever talk that way to me. Disgusting, vulgar, greasy. And who do you think you are, a couple of queens or something?
Could it be you and me, Blanche?
What does it cost for string of furs like that?
Why, these are a tribute from an admirer of mine.
Well, he must have had a lot of admiration.
Lies! Lies inside and out! All lies!
Never inside! I never lied in my heart.
Yeah, you got plenty of room to get by me now. You think I'm going to interfere with you?
Marry me, Mitch.
I don't think I want to marry anymore. No, you're not clean enough to bring in a house with money.
Gordon.
All right, guys, welcome back to the Tragedy of Cinema podcast. I'm your host, Jimbo.
And I'm your co-host, Kyle.
Kyle, today we are doing a movie that I chose. It's a very hard movie to watch and to talk about, but it is considered the number 45 movie of all time, according to AFI's Top 100 Movies. And that is A Streetcar Named Desire from 1951. Kyle, this is one of the top 15 movies that changed the landscape in movie history. So I'm going to read some stuff real quick at the beginning of this instead of giving you a question.
All right, Jimbo.
And I'll let you throw in your ad lib here. So a streetcar named Desire significantly impacted the movie landscape by pushing the boundaries of what was considered acceptable on screen, introducing a more raw and realistic portrayal of sexuality, showcasing the method acting style popularized by Marlon Brando, and paving the way for films tackling complex adult themes with depth, all while challenging the Hollywood censorship codes of the time, essentially opening the door for a new era of mature cinema beyond light and entertainment. So here are some key points about its impact. Breaking censorship barriers. The film tackled sensitive topics like sexual tension and violence with a level of explicitness that was previously uncommon in mainstream cinema, forcing a conversation about the limitation of the Hays Code. Elevating acting standards. Marlon Brando's performance as Stanley Kowalski, utilizing the method acting technique, brought a new level of raw emotion and realism to the screen, influencing future generation of actors. Impact of literary adaptations. The success of A Streetcar Named Desire demonstrated that serious literary works could be translated to film with critical acclaim, encouraging adaptations of other plays with complex themes. And directorial influence. Elia Kazan's direction, with his focus on psychological realism, further contributed to the film's impact on the cinematic landscape. So,
impressive contribution to society, right there.
Yeah, it's a very, it's really a very interesting movie. I told Kyle this morning before we started recording. I said this movie, with Vivien Leigh's character, has some of the same similarities to Sunset Boulevard as the washed up actress, and you can see that they both end up going pretty much crazy at the end. But Kyle, go ahead and take it away.
All right, we have A Streetcar Named Desire, released on September 19th, 1951, directed by Elia Kazan. Written by Tennessee Williams for the original play, and Oscar Saul for the adaptation. Produced by Charles K. Feldman. Composed by Alex North. Cinematographer Harry Stradling Sr. And editor was David Weisbart. Film, quick little summary of the film. A Streetcar Named Desire is originally a play by Tennessee Williams written during the period of change in America after World War II. In short, it is about a woman who comes to live with her sister and her sister's husband. She eventually loses her grip on reality as she fails to get what she most desires. Mainly desiring a husband and a white picket fence and being treated as a classy lady, as it will. But as we go through the film there. It's a quick summary of that film. Let's see here. I'm going to move on to the budget for the film. Budget for the film was $1.8 million in 1951. Adjusting for inflation, that'd be about $21.8 million today. So cool, $20 million just stacked off of it right there, just out of inflation alone. Gross worldwide, though, it only brought in $53,000. So not making much money at all. But just for inflation, that'd be about $643,000 today. All right. Moving on to some of the technical details of the film here, we have... Give me a moment here. We have a runtime of 122 minutes, a bit of a longer film overall. Sound mix was mono for the RCA sound system. This is a black and white film. Aspect ratio is 1.37 by 1, and the camera used was the Michel BNC camera. And the film length has a film length of 3,345.79 meters. Moving on to the cast here, we have Vivien Leigh playing the role of Blanche Dubois. Vivien Leigh was also in the film Gone with the Wind in 1939 as the character Scarlett O'Hare. Then, of course, we have the legendary Marlon Brando playing the role of Stanley Kowalski. Marlon Brando was also in the original The Godfather as the Don, and Superman 2 as Superman 1 and 2 as Jor-El. And he was also in Apocalypse Now in 1979. Then we have Kim Hunter playing the role of Stella Kowalski. Kim Hunter was also in the Planet of the Apes series in the original 1968 film as Zira in both the films Escape from the Planet of the Apes and Beneath the Planet of the Apes. Next up, we have Carl Malden playing the role of Harold Mitchell. Carl Malden was also in the film On the Waterfront in 1954, and another film. See if I can't read the name there. What's that name, Jimbo?
Where?
Right here.
This one?
Right there.
Pollyanna, where he was the Reverend.
Pollyanna, where he was the Reverend. Thank you, Jimbo. Next up, we have Rudy Bond playing the role of Steve. Rudy Bond was also in the film On the Waterfront, as well as Carl Malin with that film in 1954. Then we have Nick Dennis playing the character of Pablo. Nick Dennis was also in the film Spartacus in 1960. And then we have Peg Helios playing the role of Eunice. Peg was also in the film Producer Showcase in 1954. And that's going to include the cast of Streetcar Named Desire. We're going to move on to the awards here. And the awards are quite lengthy for this film. So first up, we have the 2023 Online Film and Television Association Awards, where it was added to the Film Hall of Fame, specifically for the win for Hall of Fame character Vivien Leigh as Blanche Dubois. Excuse me. And then for the 2004 Online Film and Television Association, we have an OFTA Film Hall of Fame Award for Best Motion Picture in 2004. And then for 1999, it was added to the National Film Registry for the National Film Preservation Board. And then for the 1957 St. Geordie Awards, we have a win for special award to both Vivien Leigh and Tennessee Williams. Then the 1953 BAFTA Awards, we have a win for Best British Actress to Vivien Leigh, and a nomination for Best Film from any source, this case being the United States for a nomination. Then for the 1952 Oscars, we have wins for Best Actress in a Leading Role to Vivien Leigh, Best Actress in a Supporting Role to Kim Hunter, Best Actor to Carl Malden, and that concludes the wins. Also, we have a win for another Oscar win for Best Art Direction for Set Direction for a Black and White Film to George James Hopkins and Richard Day. And then finally, we have nominations for Best Actor in a Leading Role for Marlon Brando, Best Costume Design, Best Sound, Best Director, Best Music, Best Cinematography, and overall Best Picture for nominations. Then for the 1952 Directors Guild of America Awards, we have a nomination for Outstanding Directorial Achievement in Motion Picture. Then for the 1952 Golden Globes, we have a win for Best Supporting Actress to Kim Hunter, and nominations for Best Actress to Vivien Leigh and Best Motion Picture in Drama category. Then for the 1952 Juicy Awards, we have the win for Best Foreign Actor to Marlon Brando. Then for the 1952 Writers Guild of America Awards, we have a nomination for Best Written American Drama to Tennessee Williams. Tennessee Williams, what a name, right? Just kept thinking that every time I read it. Then for the 1951 National Board of Review, it won the Top 10 Films of the Year to the MBR Award. What's that, Jimbo?
Dynamic duo Tennessee Williams and Indiana Jones.
Indiana Jones. Darn right, Jimbo. Tennessee Williams should have wrote the Indiana Jones movies. That would be hilarious. Then for the 1951 New York Film Critics Circle Awards, we have a win for Best Director, Best Film, and Best Actress to Vivien Leigh. We also have second place for Best Actor to Marlon Brando. Then for the 1951 Venice Film Festival Awards, we have a win for Special Jury Prize to Elia Kazan for Best Director. Then moving on to the awards here, we also... that scene of the awards right there. Sorry, I got cut off there. That scene of the awards. And we went to the cast, went to the technical details. Jimbo, now we can move on to the trivia.
Not so fast, my friend.
We have something else to go through?
Well, I think it's very important to talk a little bit about Vivien Leigh's life. What a lot of people don't know is she was bipolar and she was manic depressed. Wow. So I was going to read a little bit about what she said about it and what some of her co-stars and other people have said about it. So Vivien Leigh, on her bipolar disorder, when I get depressed and run down, I'm like a thing, an amoeba at the bottom of the sea. I stop everything then, and only my friends can pull me up. That was Vivien Leigh to David Lewin in 1960. So a little bit, if you don't know what bipolar disorder is, I'm going to go ahead and give a little description. So it's formerly known as manic depressive disorder. It's characterized by experience of one or more manic episodes as well as periods of depression. The illness involves extreme mood swings from overly high and or irritable to sad and hopeless and then back again. Severe changes in energy and behavior go along with these changes in moods. The periods of highs and lows are called episodes of mania and depression. Different from the normal ups and downs that everyone goes through, the symptoms of bipolar disorder are severe. They can result in damaged relationships, poor job or school performance, and even suicide. I'm not going to go through the symptoms and all that, but here are some of the historical figures that have had bipolar celebrities with bipolar disorder. So you had Edgar Allan Poe, Ernest Hemingway, Frank Sinatra, Kurt Cobain, Ludwig van Beethoven, Mel Gibson, Catherine Zeta-Jones, Vincent van Gogh, Virginia Woolf, and Vivien Leigh. So here's what Laurence Olivier said from his autobiography. Her disease was called manic depression, and that meant a possible permanent cyclical to and fro between the depths of depression and wild, uncontrollable mania. Despite the belief that Vivien Leigh got bipolar disorder after her miscarriage in 1940, Vivien had shown some signs of strange behaviors years before the miscarriage. Additionally, this disorder is known to have some genetic factors. Here's something a schoolmate of Vivien said. We didn't know it then, but then how could we? It was there, though. Vivien would get along fine for a few weeks, a few months, be perfectly normal and friendly, involved in her activities. Then, suddenly, a complete turnaround. Sometimes it would last only a few hours, other times a day or more. But when it happened, we'd see a completely different girl, moody, silent, petulant, rude, often hysterical. None of us understand it, not even the schoolmistresses. At first, we credited it to longing for her family. They were living out in India, you know. But as we got to know her better, we realized that she was quite happy to be at school and didn't seem to miss her family at all. Knowing what we know today about these things, one would definitely have to say that Vivien was a disturbed young girl, disturbed in some way that she had no control over. Had she had been a child today, someone undoubtedly would have been taken more serious notice and sent her to a doctor to be examined. Who knows what would have been discovered? A chemical imbalance, a genetic defect? It's impossible to say. I don't know if there's a name for what Vivien suffered from, but she definitely suffered from some mental peculiarity that on occasion put her severely out of sorts. It was frightening when it happened, almost on the order of a dual personality.
Oh, wow.
John Russell Taylor, Vivien's biographer, when a bout of mania was coming upon her, Vivien's first action, entirely unconscious, was to start systematically taking off all of her jewelry, rings, bracelets, necklaces, earrings, everything, and laying it down on a table. She would start compulsively cleaning something, anything. Vivien Leigh herself said, I cannot let well enough alone. I get restless. I have to be doing different things. I'm a very impatient person and headstrong. If I've made up my mind to do something, I can't be persuaded out of it. Trade Faulkner, an actor and friend about Vivien Leigh, if you upset her, she could be a scorpion, but it was part of her personality. She could be dangerous, she could be very, very dangerous, but also she could be very sweet, very charming, and very warming. Pat Quinn said, Viv could be the sweetest, nicest person at the convent. No one had such a charming personality, but at times she could strike out at you, seemingly without provocation. At those times, she'd retreat into one of her darkest moods and would stay there for a long time. She adored her cat, but would shoo her away. I'd go and get milk for the cat to keep her from starving. Viv frightened me. She was like a female Dr. Jekyll and Mrs. Hyde. Then, like a spring flower bursting open, she'd emerge the next day like the dearest, most gracious, and effervescent person you could ever imagine. John Russell Taylor, Vivien's biographer about her in 1960s. Her manic fits were more physically violent than ever, and in them she was quite capable of destroying every object within reach and severely lacerating anyone who tried to restrain her. And I'll leave it with this one. Laurence Olivier, from his autobiography, said, throughout her possession by that uncanny, evil monster, manic depression, with its deadly, ever-tightening spirals, she retained her own individual canniness, an ability to disguise her true mental condition from most all except me, from whom she could hardly be expected to take the trouble, sorry.
Take the trouble, yeah.
Yeah, this movie probably was
an expression of her mental illness as well.
Right. So I think that's another reason why it's very interesting. So let's talk a little bit about this movie now. So Jessica Tandy, which Brett from The Evil Never Dies loves, was originally slated to play Blanche after creating the role on Broadway. The role was given to Vivien Leigh after Olivia de Havilland refused it. Since Leigh had more box office appeal, de Havilland turned down the role because her then-husband Marcus Goodrich advised against her playing it. Also, I believe her salary demand was a lot higher, too. I have in the notes, too. So.
Okay.
John Garfield turned down the role of Stanley Kowalski because he didn't want to be overshadowed by the female lead. Vivien Leigh, who suffered from bipolar disorder in real life, later had difficulties in distinguishing her real life from that of Blanche DuBois. So...
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of crossover there between just a little too real for her.
Right,
Yeah.
And she was only 53 when she died, and she died from tuberculosis. I guess she had battled it for a while, so
oh wow,
gone too soon, definitely. And you had Olivia de Havilland, Didn't she just die last year or this year?
I don't know.
Or she might still be alive. She was like over 100, I think. But yeah, you had somebody that lived twice as long as almost as. Mickey Coon, who played the young sailor who helps Vivien and Leigh onto the streetcar at the beginning of the film, had previously appeared with Leigh in Gone with the Wind as Beau Wilkes, the child of Olivia de Havilland's character Melanie, toward the end of the film when the character was 5 years of age. When Mickey Coon mentioned this to someone else on the set of A Streetcar Named Desire, word got back to Leigh, and she called him into her dressing room for a half-hour chat. He said that he was giving an interview in his 70s. He said that she was one of the sweetest, loveliest ladies he had ever met.
Yeah. Olivia de Havilland was, she passed away in July 26th of 2020. She was 104 years old.
Yeah, 104.
104.
So, wow.
Yeah.
Great actress. Man, I can't believe it's already been almost 2 years. Over 2 years.
4 years.
There we go.
Time travel's real.
I think she was a great actress.
Yeah, she did a great job. Gone with the
Wind. Movie's line, Stella! Hey, Stella! was voted as number 45 quote of the American Film Institute out of 100. In 2007, the American Film Institute ranked this as the number 47 greatest movie of all time. I just looked it up now, and it was 45, so I don't know. Somewhere in...
I'll give it some time.
Yeah. Yeah, but it moved up.
Oh.
No, it moved down.
Moved down.
No, it moved up because, I don't know.
Reappraisals, I don't know.
The movie's line, and this is at the end of the movie, she's when the psychologist or whatever is helping her out the door, she's like, I have always depended on the kindness of strangers, was voted as the number 75 quote by the American Film Institute out of 100. As the film progresses, the set of the Kowalski apartment actually gets smaller and smaller to heighten the suggestion of Blanche's increasing claustrophobia.
Oh,
That's
okay.
Really, that makes.
I thought I was going crazy.
Yeah.
I was. I almost think it was intentional. Because I still the whole time.
Yeah, because you noticed that.
That was a big, wide open apartment at the very beginning. By the end of the movie, it's like a box.
Yeah, I was like, it was closing. By the time the film was made, the Desire streetcar line had been converted to buses, but streetcars were still used in other parts of the city. The authorities were able to lend the production a car with the desired destination sign for the opening sequences of Blanche's arrivals into the city. So, pretty cool.
I see. Okay, that's interesting.
This was shot on a 36-day schedule.
Wow.
Yeah. But you got to think, though, there wasn't much that it all happened in that apartment and in the foreground. There was a little scene at a bowling alley, a little scene at the the docks or something.
But it was almost a single set film.
Yeah. So, early in development, William Wyler had expressed an interest in adapting the play with Bette Davis in the part of Blanche. That could have been great too.
That could be really cool.
Due to the highly contentious subject matter, no major studio would dare touch the property. 20th Century Fox head Daryl F. Zanuck expressed an interest but had to relinquish the idea when his boss point blank refused to allow to make it happen.
Sad.
The production code censors demanded 68 script changes from the Broadway staging, while the interference of the Catholic Legion of Decency led to even further cuts, most of them having to do with references to homosexuality and rape. In his memoirs, Tennessee Williams wrote that he liked the film, but he felt it was slightly marred by the Hollywood ending.
The Catholic Legion of Decency. Wow.
Yeah.
People really just have that much of a stick up their butt.
Although Vivien Leigh initially thought Marlon Brando to be affected and he thought her to be impossibly stuffy and prim, both soon became friends and the cast worked together smoothly. Despite giving the definite portrayal of Stanley Kowalski, Marlon Brando said he privately detested the character. However, it should be added that Brando was an eccentric character who loved misleading people and playing pranks. The role of Blanche, as we stated, was first offered to Olivia de Havilland, whose wage demanded proved to be too excessive. Vivien Leigh was only 36 at the time of this filming, but she had to have makeup to make her look older. What a beautiful lady, too.
Oh, yeah.
Scarlett O'Hara, man, still have a crush on her. While Vivien Leigh was playing Blanche, her real-life husband, Laurence Olivier, was also in Hollywood filming Carrie, co-starring Jennifer Jones and directed by William Wyler. On one occasion, the celebrated couple dined with Marlon Brando. When the film was previewed in Santa Barbara in 1951, the director Elia Kazan's date was then an obscure contract starlet, Marilyn Monroe, whom he introduced to Arthur Miller, her future husband.
Huh. Small world again.
Yeah. Oh, here's my date.
Yeah,
Maryland. What?
A slave in Maryland. I don't know.
The play takes place entirely in the Kowalski's apartment in their front square. The movie adds more locations such as bus station, a bowling alley, a dance hall, a dock, and Stanley's plant. But those are only in there for probably 3 minutes total. Probably.
Yeah.
In the movie, Blanche says she has had many meetings with strangers. In the play, it was many intimacies with strangers. And I think you kind of get that.
Excuse me. You still get that impression.
Well, because when her and Marlon Brando are having that big old fight at the end, and he says hotel, I forgot what he said, Artemius or something. She's like, it was the Hotel Tarantulas. That's where I took all my victims. And I was like, holy cow.
Yeah.
The Black Widow. Robert Mitchum was offered the role of Stanley Kowalski, but RKO refused to let him do it, which I think he would have been great in it.
Could have done an amazing job.
Because he was the one that was in Sunset Boulevard, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, even more Small World in a moment.
While working on the film, Marlon Brando shared an apartment with Jay Cantor, 2 other MCA representatives, and future film star Tony Curtis. Fitted T-shirts cannot be bought at the time, so Marlon Brando's apparel had to be washed several times and then the back stitched up to appear tightly over the actor's chest.
Really, like he looks ripped in the entire film.
He does look ripped.
Yeah.
This is the 5th biggest hit of the year. I think Kyle looked it up. There was I think Showboat and
Showboat, David and the look up how do you know that first
David
word?
and Bathsheba.
Qua Vadis, the first movie right there.
Quo Vadis,
and then David and Bathsheba, and then Showboat, and then the African Queen were the other top 4 movies.
And then Alice in Wonderland.
And clearly, Streetcar Named Desire stood the test of time because they didn't the films at all.
Independent producer Charles Feldman bought the screen rights to Tennessee Williams' Pulitzer Prize-winning play. He took it to Daryl F. Zanuck, head of the 20th Century Fox, about making it. But Zanuck point-blank refused, knowing that the censors would strip all the meaning out of the play. Anne Baxter was very seriously considered for the role of Stella by Elia Kazan. Joan Fontaine was considered for the role of Stella. Patricia Neal was very much thought of the role for Stella, but was considered at 5 feet 7 inches too tall to be Vivien Leigh's sister. 5'7".
I can't tell you're too tall.
Here you go, Kyle.
You're too tall to be old.
The Catholic Legion of Decency.
Yep, there it is
threatened
again.
to sink the box office prospects for the film with a condemned rating. Elia Kazan made a last-ditch effort to get his uncut version seen by the public. He asked Warner Brothers to try releasing the film in both his director's version and the edited version, with each clearly marked so audience members could choose for themselves. Warner said, nah. And Kazan then campaigned for his director's cut to be screened at the Venice Film Festival. Again, Warner's refused, since the Legion mandated that only their approved version could be released, and the studio didn't want to risk earning a condemned rating, which would hurt the film at the box office. As a result, Kazan's version would not be seen until Warner's restored the film in 1993, which is what I watched.
Just imagine going to the film and I want to watch the condemned movie. Oh, that sounds so cool.
Elia Kazan worked closely with the production designer to create the authentically sordid look. They had the walls of Stanley and Stella's home built in small sections that could be removed so that as Blanche feels more constricted and threatened inside the Kowalski home, the walls could literally move in and create a claustrophobic tension within the space.
Yeah, worked out amazingly.
Oh, yeah. There was some bad blood between Vivien Leigh and Marlon Brando at the beginning of the shoot, but those conflicts had nothing to do with acting style. Brando was simply annoyed at Leigh's typical British mannerisms and stuffiness. The two acting giants eventually became friends as the shoot progressed. Brando's dead-on perfect imitations of Leigh's then-husband Laurence Olivier's Henry V did much to break the ice between the two.
Oh, that's great.
For the London stage production, Vivien Leigh bleached her famous brunette locks. She wore bleached wigs throughout the film, though since Blanche Dubois was supposed to have ragged-looking hair and look like someone who had led a rough life. Because she did not trust the American hairdressers, Leigh had air-mailed her wigs back to London to be cleaned and redressed by wig maker and theatrical entrepreneur Stanley Hall.
Oh, that's insane.
That is a little ridiculous.
That's a little ridiculous. I agree.
To prepare for the part of Stanley Kowalski, Marlon Brando began a daily workout routine at a local gym where he exercised with weights to build up his chest and biceps. Prior to this role, the actor was not known for his muscle-bound physique, and when Truman Capote first observed Brando's transformation, he said, it was as if a stranger's head had been attached to a brawny body as a certain counterfeit for photographs.
It's kind of a backhanded compliment.
Kyle, how much do you think Marlon Brando was paid for this movie?
I'm going to say $50,000.
Close. Marlon Brando was paid a sizable $75,000 for his work, partially because of the insider scoop that held Brando's acting style as the most revolutionary thing to hit Hollywood since the talkies. Kyle, how much do you think Vivien Leigh made?
$40,000.
Vivien Leigh received a $100,000 salary, making her the highest paid English screen actress of the day.
Oh my gosh. That's incredible. Good for her. Get that money, girl.
Like I said earlier, this is considered to be one of the 15 films that changed American cinema. I think Citizen Kane is also another one. Psycho was one.
Mm-hmm.
Including among the 1,001 most movies you must see before you die. This film cast includes 4 Oscar winners: Vivien Leigh, Marlon Brando, Kim Hunter, and Carl Malden. That Marlon Brando was passed over for an Academy Award in the one performance that almost single-handedly started the method acting movement is considered one of the best performances ever on film. It's considered one of the greatest travesties in the history of Hollywood. I mean, because all...
they're right. They're right. At the same time, it's like just playing the greatest travesty in Hollywood. It's like, come on now.
I mean...
You failed to give an award out. Sorry. It's okay. People know.
Who did win that year, Kyle, for the...
1951.
For the...
1951 Best Actor Award.
Yes.
Oscar.
Yes.
1951 Best Oscar nomination for Best Actress.
Really? You couldn't type it? You had to do this? Talk.
Yes, I did.
Talk about lazy. No. This is one of only 3 films that has been awarded 3 acting Oscars, the other films being Network and Everything Everywhere All at Once. Although both Streetcar and Network were nominated, neither film won the Best Picture Oscar that year. Streetcar got Best Actress Vivien Leigh, Best Supporting Actor Carl Malden, and Best Supporting Actress Kim Hunter.
Yeah. Jimbo, it was Humphrey Bogart who won the award for the Best Actor in 1951 for his role in The African Queen.
Oh, well, okay. Well.
He went to Humphrey Bogart. Oh, it went to one of the other large
yeah. Okay, I can't be mad.
Oh, what a tragedy. We only gave an award to another great actor. Like, shut up.
Has there ever been a tie for...
No tie.
Ever?
They always sat on some winner.
Marlon Brando's second film. With his death on November 20th, 2022, Mickey Kuhn was the last surviving cast member of this film. With Carl Malden winning the Oscar for Best Supporting Actor and Kim Hunter winning Best Supporting Actress, this is the first time that both supporting acting categories were won by the same film.
Oh, wow.
That's really cool.
That's really cool. I agree.
The first of 4 consecutive Best Actor nominations in 4 successive years for Marlon Brando, followed by Viva Zapata and Julius Caesar, and culminating in his win for his performance in On the Waterfront, which is a movie we got to cover sometime.
I agree.
Unlike Stanley Kowalski, Kim Hunter said that Marlon Brando was a more sensitive person on the film set. This is the second film in which Vivien Leigh won the Academy Award for Best Actress for playing a Southern belle who loses her family fortune and becomes destitute. First film was what, Kyle?
Was it? Oh, gosh, I almost had it. What was it? What is it?
Gone with the Wind.
Gone with the Wind. I'm such a fool.
Have you ever seen Gone with the Wind?
Yes, but it's been a long time.
In the climactic fight scene between Stanley and Blanche, the prop department had to replace 11 mirrors before director Elie Kazan was satisfied with the shattered glass effect he was after. Wow. Mm-hmm. That's a cool scene. I mean, I say it's a cool scene, but it's
impressive.
Yes.
If anything, it's good they got in that many takes. They could have done a lot more takes.
Oh, yeah. On the foggy pier at the dance hall, when Mitch proposes to Blanche, at the moment she replies, "Oh, sometimes there's God," so quickly, the first 4 notes of Tara's theme from Gone with the Wind can be heard on the soundtrack. When Blanche and Stella first have a drink at the bowling alley, Blanche turns the light away from shining on her. I noticed that she turned the light down. The theme of her lurking in the shadows would continue throughout the film. The use of shadows in this
is astounding. Yes. Great work.
Vivien Leigh said filming this movie worsened her already deteriorating mental condition. Of playing Blanche, she was quoted as saying, "It tipped me over into madness."
Jeez. Not worth it in that case. But, yeah.
And last but not least, Brando based his interpretation of Stanley Kowalski on boxer Rocky Graziano.
Oh.
So, Kyle, I'll let you touch this first.
With a 10-foot pole? All right, Jimbo, let's go. Yeah. So, this film was a tough watch, to say the least. It's difficult. It's kind of the similar position we kind of felt in with the Killing Fields. If anything, even more difficult than I felt with the Killing Fields. Because Killing Fields, I could more easily just give a higher rating because I knew its effect on society. Whereas this film has a profound impact on acting and method acting, which actually I kind of don't like method acting really. But in general, this film did have an impact for sure. So for that reason alone, I think I can give it a very strong 8, probably out of 10, for its impact on Hollywood and acting in general, as well as tackling more difficult subject matters in media in general. So in general, this film accomplished a whole lot, so I appreciate it on that level. In terms of watchability, though, it's a very difficult watch. Like it's not a mood to put you in a better mood at all. If anything, it's gonna put you in a worse mood after you watch it. So it's gonna be difficult for you to watch. Like you have to know going in, like, hey, this is a film that's gonna kind of bring you down if you're not prepared for it, and you need to be prepared for it when going into this film for sure. So it's a tougher watch. Like I recommend it for all kind of film buffs, especially because it's a film that had like an incredible impact on Hollywood. But as a general consumer, like if you just want to watch movies, have a good time, might go look somewhere else. That's where I kind of feel on it. In general, I think I might rewatch this film maybe later down the road, maybe 1 or 2 more times, just to kind of get a better feel for it. But in general, this initial viewing was a tough watch and didn't give me the best impression overall. So 8 out of 10, I think I'm being generous right there because I feel like I need to respect its legacy and its impact on Hollywood. But as an overall film enjoyer, it's not something I particularly enjoyed watching. So that's kind of overall where I feel about it. Jimbo, how do you feel? About the same.
It's one of those movies. It's kind of like Sunset Boulevard to me, and it's kind of like Citizen Kane to me. It is beautifully shot. I mean, the use, you actually feel like you're being cornered, like caved in, and I think the subject matter that isn't forthright coming in this, which I read a little bit about the play and some other things. There's a touch that says that Stanley rapes. Is it Blanche? Is that
Blanche?
Yeah,
Blanche.
While his wife is in the hospital giving birth, and that's where the mirror shatter scenes. And now that I think about that, at that point, that could have happened, and that may be why the mirror shatters, because he has finally broken her down to her last state. That could be an implication there. There's also what you don't see in this movie is where they talk about where she's like, I killed my husband, because Blanche was married before to a young fellow. And by the notes that I read, her husband she caught her husband in bed with another man, and which caused her husband to take his life. And I think she blames herself for that. So all these different plots, you've got to read between the lines, or you need to look up something or watch the play, because for me, I was a little bit lost watching this movie. I even had the subtitles on because I wanted to read and make sure I caught everything. So Blanche has come to live with Stanley and what's his wife's name?
Kim.
No, that's
or she's Stella.
Stella, yeah.
Stella.
She has come to live with them, and I guess Belle Reve or whatever was like a big plantation thing, and she had lost it to creditors. Well, Marlon Brando's thought that
she must have sold it out.
She sold it because she's got all these fancy clothes and mink fur coats and all this. So he's a man's man, if you. I say that, but I mean, he's always drinking. Well, she's always drinking too, Blanche, but he's always drinking. He's always very aggressive. I mean, you could basically see him beating his wife, from what I could gather.
Yeah.
He's always throwing stuff. There's the scene where he's like, "You want me to clean the table? I'll clean the table." Throws this plate and stuff. He's like, "I cleaned mine. Do you want me to clean yours?"
Nowadays, we refer to it as toxic masculinity and domestic violence.
Yes. And I think. I really feel for Mitch in this movie because Mitch wanted to marry her. His mom wanted him to marry her, and he says, "Well, my mom wants to know how old you are," because she was dying and she wanted to make sure he was taken care of. But because of his friendship with Stanley, he ends up not wanting to marry her because that whole scene was weird too. I don't understand why he wouldn't want to marry her. Because he goes, they're having a fight at the plant, and he's like, "Look, she's been in my house for 5 months. Tell her to pack her bags and go." Yeah. It's a very interesting watch, and just to see her mental breakdown at the end, it is very reminiscent of Sunset Boulevard, where she's coming down the stairs like for her final film, her close up. The psychologist is taking her out. it's very touching. The character development is very interesting. To me, it was the way they shot it, I guess, was really weird to me. Like, it was hard to watch, but I'm glad I watched it, and I'd like to watch it again just to see what I missed out on, because I definitely going to give this a 9. The cinematography, the use of light and shadows, the dialogue, the acting is superb. You really feel for Blanche by the end of this movie. Everything that's happened to her. Is all that brought up on herself? Maybe we're not privy to that information. But Marlon Brando is a scumbag in this. But it's a very, very good movie. So if you haven't seen it, I say just when you go in to watch this, make sure you go in with an open mind and take it all in, because there's a lot of different
things going on here.
Yes, a lot of stuff going around. Yeah. And then when you read stuff like I read about Vivien and Leigh having being a manic depressive and bipolar, it makes sense now. Like like they are the same person. The movie must not a lot of acting there. I mean, they were pretty much the same person, which is sad. But so if you're struggling with bipolar, manic depressive, please get help. If you're in a relationship where you're not safe, getting beat on, reach out. To get some help, because that's not good either. And you don't have to stay with that person, even though you may think you have to. But that's our little
PSA for the day.
Yeah, because tough movie, but in real life, it's we care about you guys too.
Exactly.
So.
In real life, don't put up anything in this thing. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And Kyle and I have fun at a lot of movies, but this is one that I didn't think we could really take to the comedy level that we like to take to, because it's more of a serious nature movie. So.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to follow us, we're at the Tragedy of Cinema Podcast on Facebook. You can reach us at thetragedyofcinema@gmail.com. If you want to leave us a review, we will read it on the air. By the way, Bond's sent a couple of reviews in. I haven't read them, but I need to just do a whole episode of Bond reviews.
Just a whole episode of Bond reviews.
Yeah, so with that being said, I think this episode's coming to close, and that's a wrap.
And cut.
The tragedy of cinema, where memories shimmer. Join us as we toast to the tales we love the most. The tragedy of cinema, where memories shimmer. Join us as we toast to the tales we love the most. Those we love the most. The tragedy of cinema, when memories shimmer. Join us as we toast to the tales we love the most.